when you involve him, he's not going to forget. The most important thing that we look for is their skills. But sadly, initiatives like STEAM, they give that right skill, problem solving ability, because part of this robotics, they are given a lot of challenges. There is endless possibilities of what solutions they can give. They're just given the problem statement, and so they have to give a solution. And that's exactly what happens in an industry.
Hi all, I'm very excited to meet and introduce you a correspondent of an international school. He has over 14 years experience in an IT industry, worked mostly in MNCs. Let us welcome Mr. Sathish Kumar to the talk on STEAM education.
Hey, hello.
You have been a correspondent of a school now, and before that you worked 14 years in an industry. So this transition should have been a very interesting one. So I would like to start the question to understand is there are two things which happens in education in India. Mostly one is the parents' expectations which the child is trying to fulfill. The second is expectation from the various agencies like government or private, which is asking for the job scenarios. So how do you think our higher education post schools should become a very meaningful way where the child feels that there is a worth of the journey of being educated?
It's very important in today's scenario for every child to have the right knowledge. That is the key for success. There is this famous quote that says, when you teach a child, he might forget. When you show him, he might remember. But when you involve him, he's not going to forget. So that's how the knowledge is transformed into skills. And that's what education is all about. That's what we are actually missing in today's education. Child is taught theoretically, but then when he has to face the world, like get into a job, it requires skills. There is a huge gap there, and that is what initiatives like QtPi is trying to address. Hands-on experience, and every child has to learn the skills by applying the knowledge they've gained theoretically.
Right.
So it is important that this gray area is addressed by today's digital education, all these initiatives like this, to ensure the child actually has the experience and the skills required to face the world. I really appreciate technologies and initiatives like this to fill that gray area for every child, and because everybody has a dream, and this really gives that extra mile, that push for a child to cover that extra mile. And this is one of the answers for the success of a child.
Wonderful. As rightly put, I always scope for improvement, and understanding those areas and filling with the right kind of people and content and modules probably is going to help the child to see a meaningful education in the future.
Yes.
Mr. Sathish Kumar, you have 14 rich years of experience working in an MNCs like HCL and Tech Mahnindra, and you have worked in the east and west part of the world in both the organization. So how do you think STEAM education adoption by schools at a very early age is going to help the future workforce?
Okay, that's an interesting question. The biggest challenge in any industry that I've seen from my experience is hiring the right person. And when we say hiring the right person, so the most important thing that we look for is their skills. But sadly, a decade back, number of people that you interview for having the right skills was very, very less. And so it has not changed much even after all this time. So it becomes a huge challenge for any industry to invest millions and billions of dollars to train people to ensure they have the right skills for the work. But now that there is a huge competition, and every industry wants the best, so meaning one that can start working from day one. So with that said, so there is a huge pressure on anybody that is trying to get a job. So they need to have the right skills for the job that they are applying for. So to come back to your question, so initiatives like STEAM, they give that right skill, problem solving ability, because part of this robotics, they are given a lot of challenges. There is endless possibilities of what solutions they can give. They're just given the problem statement, and so they have to give a solution. And that's exactly what happens in an industry.
Right. Yeah.
Irrespective of which industry we're talking about. So it really fills that gap, and that helps a child to have the right skill for that job. So this is a great initiative at this point, so that the companies are also at ease. They know, they are confident that these people are going to have the right skills, and that's all they want.
So what I understand is, like you're saying, the two things have changed and they're going to change more in future. One is, it is no more going to be a grade driven or marks driven in the form of an workforce future. Second is the training period is getting shrunk, and it is probably going to be in 1 or 2 days you come to the office and start working.
Yes.
The expectations are going to be very different from what it was there maybe a decade ago, and it's going to change as we move on.
Yeah, very true. Because of this digital transformation that is happening across the industries, every company is investing, they're ready to invest on the technology, and they wanted their workforce to be ready in using it. And they are no longer ready to train them and spend that energy there. So it is really necessary that every parent understands that there is a huge gap in our education system right now. And initiatives like this is really addressing that. And it is going to give them an upper hand for a child when they have that skills, when they have that knowledge and skills.
Okay. 14 years is a really long time, and then working in a different work environment and ecosystem and with a different kind of people, especially working from east to west and then coming back to east, and then ecosystem for school. So how do you think something like a STEAM education can help in setting up behavioral patterns that could really help the future workforce and make us a professional? So what do you think this scenario look like?
In any industry, there is, you have to give a result. Let's say, let's talk about a mobile industry, and you are trying to launch a new mobile device, and that's a project, all right? So there is always a beginning. You initiate the project, then you go into the designing phase, you just build it, then deploy it, right? So most people would think it's done. You have the end result, but it doesn't happen like that in the real world. So there is always continual service improvement. You have to again come back to stage one, relook at things and identify what are the areas you could have done better. And so it again starts. And this is what is the behavior, what is expected out of any professional in any industry for that matter. You start something, it doesn't actually end. It just goes on and on and on, right? And so that's what, for example, let's talk about, QtPi, the robotics. What is the objective of a child? They try to build something, but it doesn't end there. It goes on and on. New challenges are given, and they try to solve that problem. And so more or less, if you think in a broader spectrum, that's the behavior that is expected out of anybody in any industry for that matter. They are ready to start fresh with the same energy, with the same enthusiasm. They are ready to start again without any hesitation. And I think initiatives like this, when children are exposed to initiatives like this in the beginning stage, it really helps them acquire that discipline, so that they are really successful in what they do in the future. They are really prepared, and there are no surprises.
Yeah. I think you put it rightly, and this is a very important skill I think we all require at any point in life, future, especially because there is very little room to fail, little room to rework.
Correct.
And then you should be mentally prepared that things can happen which is not unexpected. Wonderfully put. Thank you for your bringing the experience into this particular point. and helping us to understand more deeper and more clearer on this.
Yeah. Right.